My name is Massimiliano Caprio. I'm a professor of endocrinology in the University San Raffaele Roma in Rome, Italy. I'm a clinical endocrinologist and also a basic scientist. I have been working for several years in the field of obesity, metabolism, and in particular in the activity of the mineralocorticoid receptor in metabolic diseases. I'm very happy to be here in the Universidad de La Laguna. I will focus my talk on the role of the mineralocorticoid receptor in the context of metabolic disease. The mineralocorticoid receptor controls fluid balance, blood pressure, sodium and potassium levels in the blood, but it has also a very important role in metabolic diseases. This receptor is expressed in fat cells, in adipocytes. As you all know, obesity rates are increasing all over Europe, all over the world, and this receptor has a very important role in controlling the activity of the adipocyte, the expansion of the adipocytes, and alteration of its function can cause metabolic derangements. In this context, I've been working for several years studying the effect of aldosterone and aldosterone antagonists in mice models of obesity, atherosclerosis, and metabolic dysfunction. Recently, clinical trials have demonstrated a favorable effect of antagonism of the mineralocorticoid receptor in several important complications of obesity, such as kidney disease and heart failure. So I will focus on the role of this receptor in the adipocyte, and I will show how this receptor can control adipose expansion, adipose metabolism, and how is this related with the complication of obesity. When I graduated at the Medical School of Rome, Sapienza University, I did my thesis degree on basic science, and so I was very interested in getting more insight in the mechanism of disease. So I was studying the effect of obesity on reproductive system in men. And we knew that obesity was related to low testosterone levels and hypogonadism. At that time, leptin was recently discovered in the US. So I wanted to study the effect of leptin in the reproductive function, and I went to the US at the NIH, where I spent 2 years. And I demonstrated that leptin directly inhibits the production of testosterone by Leydig cells in the rat. So this, of course, correlated very well with the high leptin levels circulating in the blood of people with obesity. And of course, leptin was one of the most important driver in reducing testosterone levels in the blood that we observe often in men with obesity. Then I finished my residency, I did my PhD, and fortunately had another great opportunity to go to France to finish my PhD and do my postdoc. At that time, I was introduced to the biology of the mineralocorticoid receptor. I was still interested in adipocyte biology and obesity, but I characterized the role of this receptor, mineralocorticoid receptor, which was all the people knew about the role of mineralocorticoid receptor in the kidney and in the control of blood pressure levels, but at that time nobody knew the real role of mineralocorticoid receptor in adipose tissue and in fat cells. So I characterized the role of this receptor in determining the adipose tissue differentiation, expansion, inflammation, fibrosis. And also I had the opportunity to characterize the role of this receptor also in brown adipose tissue, that is another particular kind of tissue. It's part of the adipose organ. The brown adipose tissue is present also in human adults, and its function is also related to the metabolic health, because we know that patients with obesity and type 2 diabetes have a reduced activity of this type of adipose tissue. So this data show that reducing and inhibiting the activity of this receptor with several drugs. We tested drospirenone, we tested spironolactone, we tested finerenone, which is a novel non-steroidal antagonist of the mineralocorticoid receptor. At least in the murine models of obesity, we demonstrated favorable effect of this antagonism in reducing the obesity induced by high-fat diet, but also in reducing liver fibrosis and other complications of obesity. We still want to understand which is the mechanism, the basic mechanism by which the activity of this receptor controls so tightly the function of adipose tissue, especially in men, in the human subjects. And we started a collaboration recently with the University of Bologna, and we saw that the use of antagonists of the mineralocorticoid receptor can improve the function of brown adipose tissue in patients affected by lipodystrophy. Lipodystrophy is a genetic alteration of the biology of the adipose tissue. And again, we want to characterize the potential role of these novel antagonists of the mineralocorticoid receptor that are particular because they are not steroidal, and so they are less lipophilic. They give much less problem of side effects, such as, for example, hyperkalemia. We want really to dissect and to understand how these molecules, these novel drugs, can improve metabolic health in patients affected by obesity and its complications.